Welcome to the Conversation in Cole Ones podcast, Hobbies edition. I got my friend Chad here
And George.
and Senor George, yes.
Senior George or El Jorge or Senior Jorge. He goes by
Yep.
many names.
Yep. And I'm
And he
Damien,
bites
of
me.
course, as he bites you.
As he bites me.
My cat won't sit on my lap, he'll just bite me to death.
Yeah, he'll sit in my lap, bite me, then escape, and then sit on my lap again.
Yeah.
Yep.
The last time we did one of these, we did guns, which next time we do it, Chad will be on that for sure as well. Um, that will be coming soon. But this one is about 4Ks. Chad got me into 4Ks 2 years ago, I think, when I started collecting. And
hmm
it's been a very bad habit.
Yep.
A lot of hope and a lot of pain with 4Ks, which we'll
Yep.
explain a little bit. But
Live enabling. Yep.
a lot of new on both sides. On both sides.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Because I'll just send Chad some. Hey, we'll get this is coming out. I'll be like, all right, I bought it.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so I wanted to go over our setups first. What we have going on because I think if even if you own 4Ks, your setup's really what's gonna change your experience. So Chad, why don't you go over your setup first?
Okay. My setup, I'm just confirming because I just had a brain fart. My TV setup is a 65-inch OLED. Boom. C1.
Okay.
So OLED is one of the best ways to go, as in darks, as in silky smooth colors. So that's what I got for my TV. For my player, my 4K player, I have a Panasonic UB 9000, which is one of the most referenced quality players you can have out there. It competed with the higher end Oppos. Oppo was king of the hill for a very long
Yeah.
time. They stopped making the players, which is very unfortunate. They made some amazing stuff, audiophile CD players. So that was just direct competition to them. Love the player. And for audio, I have some Clips 2.1 Pro Medias that I've made work with a couple adapters. And for a extremely small apartment, it has been more than enough. So yeah, and that goes off my 4K setup. Yep.
Alrighty. So my TV is the Sony X85J, which is the 2021 models of their TVs, which I'll be upgrading later this year. Now that they released those new ones with the fucking higher processing and the I think it's OLED. I want one now. But yeah, that's the TV I go off of. Great picture, great colors. And then my player is actually from Chad. It's the Sony UPB X800, which has been great. I before that I just had a normal Sony. It was like $100. I think they're like the UX models, which they did well. The one thing that I didn't like about those models was every time I watched a disc, like the disc would freeze on that
Oh no.
model. So uh,
That's an inherent problem on some cheaper, some more troublesome players. I've
yeah,
definitely heard and seen.
yep,
You have a great player. So long story short, my sister gave me that player as a wedding gift, and I was able to help upgrade that by moving it along to you. And for it being a non Dolby Vision player, the HDR conversion rate is
oh yeah,
amazing on that player. That player
oh yeah,
still kicks some serious ass
oh yeah.
in terms of what it does and the value you get. So that's a great player.
The
So
goal
yeah.
is to get a nicer player here sooner than later, so I can get Dolby Vision because I after experiencing Dolby Audio and the upgraded that comes with that,
Mhm.
I can't go back. So once I see Dolby Vision, I think it's gonna be the same way for a lot of things.
Yeah, I would highly recommend the UB820. It's the same video processing as the UB1000 I have. It's just not as many audio features, but it's still gonna be more than you need.
Right, right.
So, great player for the money.
Yeah, for sure. So let's get into some other topics. Chad, I want to ask you, what got you into 4K, like the platform in general?
I mean, I've always been into movies, media. I mean, I love the classic. I love mobster films. I love good 80s action films. I mean, really obscure older stuff, 80s, 90s, 70s, like westerns. Like an overall general appreciation for older classic movies. Um, and then my sister is the one that turned me on to 4K. She's like, "Hey, you've heard about this thing called 4K? It takes older films that are 35 millimeter that natively transfer over to 4K and look amazing. Like best these movies are gonna look." So again, it's like a drug. She got me started, and surpassed her immensely on my addiction. Yeah. So in a nutshell, that's what it is. I love it.
Yep. I'm kind of saying so. Actually, before 4K, I collected Blu-rays, and the reason why I started was because I was tired of having to rent movies, or if like it wasn't on a streaming service. I just was kind of shit out of luck. So
Yeah.
I had a pretty like decent Blu-ray collection. And I never really paid attention to 4K. I wasn't like I love movies and stuff, so I was just grabbing Blu-rays because they're usually
Yeah.
cheaper. And then once you're like, hey, you really got to see 4K, and I saw like the huge quality jump. For I forget what my first 4K was.
It wasn't with me, was it?
No, actually, I know what my first 4K was. It was Blade Runner 2049.
Oh,
Um,
great. Oh, wow. Yeah,
so
I understand that.
and I own every version of that movie, normal DVD, Blu-ray, 4K. So that was my first 4K experience. And after seeing that and then trying to watch the Blu-ray again, I could not go back. Um, and we'll talk about some disappointing 4Ks because usually transfers are really good and it's worth it, but sometimes they're not, which we'll
Yep,
talk about later. But
absolutely.
yeah, that was once I saw that, and then obviously talking to you, and you're like, hey, you also got to try this. It was like this whole thing. It became this whole thing because I got to like collect movies I already had again. Like I had all the Christopher Nolan movies on Blu-ray, and then it's like, oh well, now
Yeah.
I got to go get them on 4K. That's the best version that I'm gonna get, and so it's been really cool. I'm at like 60 something 4Ks now. Um,
Wow, you surpassed me.
yeah, I am 20 away from surpassing my Blu-ray collection that I had.
Okay,
So
nice.
we're getting there. I sold my Blu-ray collection besides a few movies that aren't on 4K yet that I can't live without, which we'll talk about later. But
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, so I want to talk about first some big upcoming 4K releases that we're looking forward to. Um, so for me, number one is the Godfather Collection that comes out next month.
Yep.
Um, I haven't pre-ordered it yet, but I need to because I'm sure it's gonna sell out. Um,
Yep.
they have two versions of that. I think they have like that normal one's like $60, right?
Yeah, then there's the one that's over 100 that includes director's cut, I believe. One extra version, so that's how they're justifying people spending
Yeah.
buku
So
bucks on it.
it's a three, right? Because three is gonna get the normal one gets the Coda version of three, and
Yes.
then which I heard like is good, but people wanted the director's cut for so long, so
Yes.
now they're selling the director's cut in that bigger bundle, which is kind of shitty. But you get like a cool booklet and everything, so I guess it's
Yeah,
whatever.
director's cut is 140. Yeah, and it includes. I'm just going through this. Again, regular version, $89.
Okay,
I
so it is
believe it
bigger.
includes. Yeah, yeah. So, and I believe the $140 one. I say we be patient. It'll price drop and cut. Like we've seen a
Yeah,
lot of stuff. There's no way they're gonna produce this in limited numbers. Maybe I don't know about the collector's edition, but we'll see. I'll take a gamble.
I'm gonna guess that it's gonna sell out like at first, and then they're gonna keep doing the
Yes.
printing run, and then it's because like I feel like it's gonna be a Lord of the Rings situation where like that trilogy set that first came out, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's so good, it's so good." Everyone bought it. It was sold out for like 2 weeks, and then now you can find it for 50, $60.
But the question is, are they going to do a collector's edition, or is that going to skyrocket to $200-300 like the Columbia Classics Volume One?
Yeah, I'm guessing that won't be coming. Like that's probably a limited run.
Okay.
But I I I don't really care for Coppola films, to be honest with you.
You think he's overrated? You discussed that before.
Yes, listen. I mean, I think The Godfather one is fantastic. It's amazing. It's a masterpiece.
Agreed.
Um, two is all right. Like I don't mind two. I can actually watch two, and three I've never cared for. So
Three is kind of like the stepchild of the Godfather movies.
right, and so I'm having a hard time like spending the $90 on it because one of the movies I think is really good and is a really fun watch. The other two I kind of don't care about. Um, that's why I haven't like started watching or collecting like his other movies. Which you
Okay.
let me borrow. What is it called? The war movie. Apocalypse Now, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They've re-released that recently in the
I
steelbook,
know,
and it's
and
much
it's
nicer.
so much nicer. I saw it at Best Buy a
I'm
few days
so
ago.
pissed. I'm so
It's
pissed.
$20. I mean, I grab it.
Really? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, done. That was way more than 20
Oh
when I
no,
bought
it's
mine.
20. It's like $20 now. Not yours, the Steelbook.
Wow.
Yeah,
The steelbook's 20. Okay, done.
yeah. I
Done. Easy purchase.
which I didn't mind watching that movie again. I think the transfer is amazing. It's one of the best transfers
Oh
I've
yeah.
seen. But the movie itself, I don't care for how he directs things. So, yeah, with him, I'm kind of having a hard time spending that kind of money. So I am gonna wait. But yeah, Godfather for sure is probably the biggest release so far that we know of.
Okay.
Then we have those Star Wars collections coming out, which are the same transfers, unfortunately, but hopefully they're cheaper, like $50 for 3 or $40 for 3. Then I'm just gonna dive into it. I don't.
Yeah, I've held out a long time on buying it, and
Yeah,
I've been waiting, so I'm kind of done. I want it. It needs
yeah,
to be in the collection. Yes.
yep. I'm guessing they're gonna be 40, $50 for a set because they're doing the original, the prequels, and then the new trilogy.
Yeah.
I think the transfers are all right. So I justified in my head like they're better than the Blu-rays, not by much, but it's worth
Yes.
it, I guess. And I want Star Wars on 4K. I'm just gonna fucking man up and get it. It's whatever.
Okay.
And then this is another big one, Heat, which has been
I was about to mention
done.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been done on 4K for so long. Which I just bought the Blu-ray a few days ago for
That's
$5.
really good. That's really good for Blu-ray. And I have the
Oh
same
yeah.
one. I bought it. I was really happy with it to hold me over. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, $5. And you know, it's funny.
See,
I didn't even go in there for this. I was what did I go in there to look for? Oh, I was gonna grab the Wolf of Wall Street 4K, but they were out of stock of it.
Gotta buy that still.
And I walked past their like discount Blu-ray like podium, and this was at the bottom, and it was the last one. I was like, it's $5, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time, like easily done.
Yep.
But that's been done on 4K, like it's ready to go. Disney's just got to release it sometime this year. It was delayed from last year. We're just kind of waiting now.
Yep.
Another one that I'm excited for is Looper, which comes out I think this month. I think I'm pretty sure that's gonna be a really good transfer because that movie looks phenomenal on Blu-ray, and it's just a cool concept.
Do you know if that was filmed in 35 millimeter?
Uh,
It's done.
that movie came out in 2012. I'm guessing it was shot on film because
Yes.
oh, now I can't remember his name. Ryan Johnson. He likes to
Yeah.
shoot things on film besides the last Star Wars. So,
Yeah.
we'll see about that. The Green Mile comes out on 4K.
Oh, that's a easy decision.
That's a big one. So the guy who directed Shawshank Redemption directed The Green Mile. I've always preferred The Green Mile over Shawshank Redemption. So I haven't picked up the Shawshank 4K. I heard it was amazing.
It's very good. I have it,
Yes.
and yes,
It is good.
it's very good. You need
Yeah.
I will let you borrow it.
Yeah. Green Mile is what I'm buying. And then finally, which is it was announced, but we don't know at what point it's coming out. The Abyss is coming out some point
Yep.
this year. Which is not one of my favorite James Cameron movies, but I'll take any James Cameron movie on 4K.
Hopefully, it's not like a T2 transfer, but we'll discuss that in a bit.
Yeah. Oh, and then finally for me at least, Titanic coming to 4K later this year.
Yep.
That's honestly, I think that's probably going to be like a top 5 release of the year, like in terms of like scale and like what people have been waiting for. So yeah, was there any more that you had?
So you nailed about 90% of everything I already said. Again, one that I'm excited for. I've already pre-ordered it. They delayed it. Robocop.
Yeah.
I love Robocops. I love horrible, awesome / amazing 80s action films. Done by Aero Productions, done by a boutique studio who's just known for doing things of amazingly high quality, such as their Tremors 1 release. I just really hope they nail it with Robocop 1, and then they follow up with 2 and 3 of similar or higher quality.
Now,
Heat again. Yeah,
2
go
and
ahead.
3 like are nowhere near as good as the first one, though, right?
I think they're all. I never thought about that. Like naming the Robocops because I love 2 and I love 3.
Okay.
I don't know. They're all good. They're all good, other than
Okay.
like Prime directives,
I've
like that
seen
Disney
1 and
series.
2. I haven't seen
Okay,
3, I don't think.
I gotta think about 3.
Yeah.
Honestly, I forgot what 3 was about,
Yeah.
but I love it. Like,
Metal Jesus.
that yeah, yes, Metal Jesus, absolutely. He's here to kill people for our sins. Um, Again, I'll just retouch on Heat. We've been teased for a long time about the Heat 4K release. They've actually had the digital version on Apple TV for the longest time, but never a media version. Exactly. Shake your head with me.
Yeah, it's
No,
just
no.
streaming
Compressed.
4K doesn't look as good as on disc 4K, so I don't want to watch
Anything
it.
compressed compared to physical is garbage. Music, audio, video. Yes. What else? Again, I did have my list, but I left it at work, as previously discussed. Not nothing I can really think
Yeah.
of off the top of my head. I mean, that's going to be a great start to the year.
Yep. All right, let's do our least favorite 4Ks first. So
Okay.
let's go into I have mine kind of ranked, so my number one's gonna be like my least favorite 4K. I just wanted to
Okay.
mention two real quick. Pirates of the Caribbean for Disney is by far the worst release of a 4K this year so far.
Did you
And
buy it or did you actually hear it? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
so I didn't buy it. I watched reviews of it and I saw the
Same.
comparison, and it is atrocious what they did to that movie. That's one of
Yeah.
like when it comes to big blockbuster movies, Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one's like one of the best. I mean, the whole trilogy is great. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
So that's sad. And then also Inglorious Bastards from last year, which I saw the comparisons of that as well, and I watched that one. That one I'm not happy with at all. And it's sad because we don't get a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies on 4K. We're now finally starting to get them. Like we get Kill Bill, and I'm sure we're gonna get Reservoir Dogs and
Oh, nice.
some of those movies coming soon. But if that's his first one and that's what he's approving, I'm not excited for what's coming down the line. But hey, the Django Unchained, when that comes out in 4K, I don't care how it looks. It's mine. Don't care. So,
Okay. As long as it's an upgrade over the Blu-ray,
oh yeah, for sure.
I back that decision.
So I have three here from my personal question that I want to talk about. Saving Private Ryan. I don't like this 4K at all. It might just be my
Really?
disc. It might just be my disc. I've had so many issues watching this movie. A lot of
Mine's gonna be
times.
perfect.
Okay, so I might just have a defective disc. A lot of times I'll be watching it and the disc just goes blurry. And then the audio cuts in and out a lot, like a
That's a disc
lot.
problem. That's a
Yeah.
disc problem, Damien.
Um, so it's
I'll
there
let you borrow
for
mine.
yeah, it's
I'll
there for
let you
that
borrow
reason.
mine.
But do you have the steelbook? Did it only come in a steelbook?
No, I have in regular, and I love that steelbook, man.
Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah,
Yeah, that's horrible. Just give me that steelbook. I'll trade you.
yeah,
I'll give you a good disc,
yeah.
and we'll call it good. Done.
Um, my next one, it's not because the quality is bad. I think the movie's just very mediocre. I only bought the movie to like so I could have number one, number two. But even the 4K like transfer, it's just mediocre. It's It Chapter 2. I think the
Okay.
first one is a really good movie and has a really good transfer. But this one, like the movie was not good. I almost walked out of the theaters while sitting there watching this movie. And the 4K just there's nothing special about it. And then for my least favorite one, which hurts my heart because I have the Blu-ray of this and I love this movie to death. It's a Michael Mann film. It's Collateral. Uh,
Oh man, yeah.
yeah, unfortunate how compressed this 4K is. Um, they did digital noise reduction on this as well. So in the scenes where they're in like the nightclub, the lights going on are very blurry and you can't see what's going on the screen at all. Um, and it's really sad. I mean, I got this for $9, so I don't really care. But I was so excited to get it, and it's not worth it. The upgrade. It was so sad.
Well, let's dive into that a bit. Isn't Collateral one of the first movies ever filmed fully digital?
Yeah, so that is one of the problems. It's early digital.
Yes.
So with that, with it being early digital, it has those problems that digital had back then, where already digital at that time was pretty blurry. There are some scenes that look really sharp, but
Yeah.
the Blu-ray looks so much better. Um, and it's really sad.
Okay.
I love this movie to death, though. This is my second favorite Michael Mann film, and it's so good. This is like his heyday when he was
I think it's
actually
super
making good
slept
movies.
on.
Oh
Yeah, it's
yeah, so
super
slept
slept
on.
on, and a great what's the word I'm trying to think of, perspective or acting point for Tom Cruise. And
Yeah,
something, if you like Tom Cruise and you want to see him act in something in a style that you think he's never done before, watch that.
yeah,
That'll
because
blow your mind about Tom Cruise.
he kind of plays a villain in this.
He's
Technically
dark,
speaking,
he's
yeah,
gritty, and he's got gray hair. He's a
yeah,
silver fox. I'm
yep.
like, and he's Tom Cruise. Like, how can you argue with that?
And like the ending of the film is just so great.
Oh, yes.
So
Let's
great.
not talk about that for reviews.
Yeah.
It's that good.
Oh yeah, it's
Yes,
really good. So those are
yes.
mine. So what are yours, Chad?
Honestly, like, yeah. I mean, I sorry to be Mr. Repeat with saying, everything that you said I already agree with. So I only own really one 4K that I absolutely disgust because I am so passionate about the movie. I've been watching this movie since it's been on every bootleg VHS since I've been 7 years old. Every time it was on TNT, Blu-ray, probably it's even been on Laserdisc, and the Laserdisc version has been better than this. And that is Terminator 2 T2. This movie has so much, what's it called, DNR,
Yeah,
or
digital
not
noise
DNR,
reduction.
and AI remastering that every person looks like a wax Barbie figure, and it is garbage. The DVD has better detail quality. The Blu-ray has better detail quality, probably along with the VHS. And this is like the number one movie that we're begging James Cameron, right? James Cameron, to do a remaster on by himself. Like, please do a quality job on this. This is a movie a lot of guys my age hold like really close to their heart as like the go-to action movie.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
and they shit on us with this.
Yep. I mean, it's one
And,
of the greatest
and they
sequels of
just
all time.
absolutely, and they just re-released it again with the same transfer in Steelbook
Yes, and
with the same.
I'm telling I was so close to buying it. Like that steelbook is so good. I was like, fuck
Yes,
it. I'm not gonna watch it, but I wanted the steelbook. I didn't. It's you can still get it, I'm pretty sure. But
yeah. Well, wait till it goes to $8 like this one was.
yeah. But yeah,
I wonder what it goes for.
that 4K is so unfortunate. And yet they still haven't done the first one. That's also one everyone's been waiting on, right?
It's slept. That's a slept on Terminator movie, but
Yeah.
I like it.
I like
It's
T3 as
Arnold Soup.
well.
Okay, T3 is not bad.
Yeah.
T3, okay, yeah, yes.
I mean, just give them all to us, basically. Well, besides the last three, I think.
No, or just the last one. Let's not get into there. I don't feel like getting me
Yeah.
too'd
Oh, you're
with the
good.
joke I have to make. Yeah, no, it's bad.
Alrighty. Let's move into our favorites then. So mine's
Oh,
also
let's
listed as
go.
well, so I will go first.
Ugh, got my stack right here. Can't see it. Gotta
So I
hide
have
it.
six, so I'll kind of make it quick.
Oh,
My number
I have
six
more than that.
is Shutter Island on 4K.
Oh,
Uh,
love your Leo.
Martin Scorsese film. Yes, Leonardo DiCaprio is my guy.
He's your dude.
Yeah, he's so good. Uh, and this movie, I think is a really cool Martin Scorsese film because it's nothing he's ever directed before. It's not a mob movie. It's not like an overly like graphic movie, I think's the way to say it. It's not vulgar at all like he normally likes to do. It's at the time when he did The Departed, and it's such a unique film. It's kind of like a horror film in some aspects, and I mean the twist at the end. Chad, you've seen this movie, right?
Yes, amazing.
Oh yeah, the twist at the end. It's
Great
such a
twist.
sad
Great
movie,
ending.
and it's so good. So
Yes.
Shutter Island for sure, is up there, and then one that I'm sure will be on Chad's list, the another Leo movie, The Revenant on 4K.
Hmm.
One of the best 4Ks that come out still to this day. Yeah. Man, you don't have the slipcover either.
Listen here, you bougie biatch. Like, yes, I would like to slipcover if I can find it, but like, it's not important to me.
Oh,
It's
it's
something to
so
get
important to me.
dented.
It's so
You
important
can
to
have
me.
you can have my T2
Oh,
slipcover. Look
you
at
can
it.
keep that.
Damien, I want to be friends with you.
Yeah.
Look.
Well,
No,
it just like when they're displayed on my thing, like when they don't have the slipcovers, it throws it off. Um,
you're
but yeah,
adorable.
I know,
You're so cute.
I know. I'm a perfectionist like that when it comes to like things. But yeah, I mean, The
Huh?
Revenant. I mean, movie wise, it's a great movie, fantastic movie. Um,
Yes.
and then this 4K, and I'll talk about it later on. But this 4K is truly one of the best things I've ever seen. Like when I sit down and want to watch a movie, and I'm like, okay, what's the best looking movie I own? It's like this and like a few other movies that come up.
Like three,
Yeah,
three total,
there's
right?
like three. So
Yes.
this movie is phenomenal to watch. So recommend that.
Okay.
My number 4 is a recent one. It is The Thing, on 4K. I was waiting for this for so long. Me and Chad were both super excited for it, and yeah, he's got the cool steelbook, which he got on a discount
A price
somehow. Uh,
pricing mistake. We'll talk about that.
yeah, I just I was surprised. Like I knew it was gonna be good. I didn't think it was gonna be this good. That they I mean, this was probably like a top 5 4K from last year, easily. The sound's amazing. It looks so good, and then the movie is also amazing as well. Um, John Carpenter's what, second best film probably. I mean, Halloween and then the Thing probably, like, for
Yeah.
everyone. So great movie. You know, even though I don't care for Kurt Russell at all, I don't like Kurt Russell. I I never have. I never have, but I like him in this movie.
Okay, real quick question. We got to break away
Yeah.
because no, this is what your podcast is about: breaking away, getting off schedule. Even though I'm the one that like said, "Hey, can we do this format?" Um, why don't you like Kurt Russell? Like, give me his number one film you can't stand him in. Like, lay it down.
Anything he's in but The Thing. I hate Escape from LA or New York. Just don't like him. I'm he's like one of those actors that I feel like you have an actor that you're like, okay, I just can't stand him in that. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It might be his face. I don't know. I just
Is
can't.
it his mullet? His sweet, sweet mullet?
I don't think I like mullets, but for Kurt
Okay.
Russell, I can't watch any movie he's in. I hate watching it. Besides The Thing, I don't know what it is. I hate him as an actor for whatever reason.
Okay.
I can't explain it. You know, my mom has the same thing with Rami Malek, who did the Bohemian Rhapsody as Freddie Mercury. She can't stand any movie he's in, and I don't get it. So it's just one of those weird things.
Yeah. Well, maybe I have to watch some more movies she's been in to get
Yeah,
understand where your mom's coming
he was
from.
in the new 007 as well. He was the main
Who
villain.
was? Ew. Okay. All right,
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think he's a good actor. Um,
Yep.
my number 3 is it's a collection, but it's the Amazing Spider-Man collection.
Of
Uh,
course.
yeah, I had to include this. I also got the cool collector's edition that they just started selling again. Got my fucking camera. That they
Can we get that
just
still?
Yes, you can actually buy it right now. It's $40. Um,
This is how Damien enables me because I'm literally like, this is happening right
yeah.
now.
And people hate on these films. I don't get it. I will sit here and say The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 are still some of the best 4Ks I've ever seen, and these two movies are better than any MCU 4K, hands down. It is unreal how well Sony did these releases. Um and it's in a cool little collector's edition.
Oh.
What's up?
Oh, sorry. No, if I, yeah, I got it. Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah,
You're
yeah,
good.
these movies are so great. I love the movies anyways. I mean, if you saw my Spider-Man rankings we did on the podcast, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was number 2 on my list. Um, I fucking love this movie, and these movies in general. So
Is
yes,
that the trilogy you have?
no. So this is just the 2,
Okay.
because there was only 2 movies, which we're getting a third one here hopefully soon. But yeah, I'll let you know how the new Spider-Man trilogy is that I'm getting in a week, because it's the Toby one. So I'll see how they compare to this, because this collection is by far the best Spider-Man's ever been on 4K, period. Like, hasn't been done better. My number 2 is Interstellar. My, like, second or third favorite film of all time. I mean, any Christopher Nolan movie in 4K is gonna be fantastic. The audio on this is unbelievable. It doesn't even have what is it called? What's the Dolby thing?
Vision.
No, what's the audio version though?
Oh, Atmos.
Yes,
Dolby
it
Atmos.
doesn't have Atmos at all, but this is still one of the best sounding 4Ks I've ever heard. The movie's incredible. It What I love about Christopher Nolan is he a lot of times films in 8K, so his 4Ks are being downscaled to 4K, but they look
Oh,
amazing. They don't have to be
smart ass.
upscaled at all. And he films IMAX most of the time, and it's all on film. So like I have his Dark Knight trilogy over there. Like the Dark Knight's also one of the
I
best
need that
4Ks I've ever
trilogy.
seen. Um,
Agreed.
it looks amazing. The IMAX scenes in that are unbelievable. But Interstellar, I
Yep.
just love the movie so much, and I think overall it's just the best looking Nolan 4K. And then number one, which we talked about earlier, I think it's still the best 4K to ever have been released. But that is Blade Runner 2049. My favorite film of all time. I've talked enough about it on the podcast. Uh, I mean, Hans Zimmer on the score, fucking Denis. Yep, there you go. Denis Villeneuve on the director's chair. Ryan Gosling kills it. The movie's just incredible. I cannot believe how good this movie was actually going to be. I think it's the greatest sequel of all time. Obviously, Terminator 2 is in that list too. But unlike Terminator 2, they actually gave this one a good 4K. So,
Hey.
yeah. That is my list. What is yours, Chad?
Right. From like favorite to like, no, I got no particular order. All right, so first two movies I'm gonna talk about are like I believe like reference quality. It's like, hey, I'm having a friend over. I want to show you what this 4K is about. Like this is if I'm trying to turn somebody into us, like one
Right,
of you.
right. One
What is
of
it they
us.
say? What one of you are one of us. I'm messing it up from Wolf of Wall Street. It is. I'll start with Revenant. Revenant is amazing. I mean, it's the movie that Leo finally got his damn.
Yeah,
Wow, sorry, my super fancy background is jacking me up. Wow, sorry.
you're good.
I'm gonna have to turn this off literally because this is
That's
gonna
fine.
make me want to punch somebody. It's an amazing movie that Leo finally got his well-deserved Oscar for. I mean, he had to be mauled and basically mauled by a bear to get his damn Oscar, and he got it with this movie.
Yeah,
It's shot so beautifully, even from the intro scenes. Um, when it goes from black and white to color, and it just fully shows the um, capability of this 4K transfer. And I saw this movie in theaters, and
yeah.
honestly, I think it looked a little better on our 4K on an OLED than in the theater. But that's me just being my bougie self. Hold on, I think I finally got my stuff back to where it needs to be.
You're good.
Oh, yep. Enjoy my lovely apartment. The Revenant, awesome. Again, Leo, Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy did a great job
Oh
as just
yeah,
a creep piece of shit teammate that just left him out there to die and tried to seem like he was the hero that did nothing but what he could to save it.
yep.
And yeah, and you also went into some great details on that. Again, number two, another reference quality 4K that is going to turn someone into a believer. Blade Runner 2049. You mentioned how good Ryan Gosling was. I mean, 90% of movies nowadays with Harrison Ford, he looks pissed. Like
Yeah, yeah.
he wants to leave and be done. I don't think it was too much of this. It was Harrison Ford in some shining moments in those older years.
Well, he wanted to do a sequel for so long, and apparently, like that was like one of his like main.
Oh,
Like he actually wanted to be in this movie, unlike Star Wars. Um,
yeah, that was bad.
yeah. So, yeah, he actually like wanted to do this movie and was excited to be in it, which is
Okay. No, that makes perfect sense.
that and Indiana Jones.
Yeah. I mean, I know we have Cyberpunk, unfortunately, but this needs to be a video game.
You know, maybe soon.
Maybe. All right, let me get this Terminator 2 off my desk.
Ugh.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me just throw this Terminator 2 out of the way here.
It would be funny
Um,
if you're like, my third favorite 4K film I own now is Terminator 2.
I just pull it out.
Yeah,
That would have been a pro move. All right, so I love mobster films. I love quality mobster films. Martin Scorsese's Casino. This is a great transfer. It's got the perfect amount of film grain and cleanup on it. Robert De Niro, Stone, Joe Pesci, in his absolute best of being a psycho. Um, yeah, this movie looks great. Looked like it was filmed 5 years ago when you
Yeah,
watch it. And I bought this totally blind from Best Buy. So it has a slipcover, Damien. You like
I know.
that
Good, good.
slipcover? Um, yeah. If I was to show a movie to somebody that said, "Hey, this is a movie was filmed," what year was this filmed in?
Late 70s, early 80s.
I'm gonna say mid '80s, early '80s. Um, this is what the epitome of 4K can do for a older movie when a quality transfer has been done. And yeah, I love this. I love
Yeah.
watching this.
You know, it's an underrated
All right.
Joe Pesci movie.
What?
My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah, but that chick's annoying. I can't stand that chick.
Yeah,
I
but I
think
love that
she.
movie.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Yeah.
I'll watch it if it's on. It's
Right.
underrated.
Right. That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay. Well, no, it's an over. No, no. Sorry, we're going to deep. I know it's an overrated movie,
What?
but Joe Pesci shines in it.
What's that?
The Irishman. The Irishman.
I didn't mind it, but yeah, he did a really good job.
Yeah, I think De Niro looked old as shit.
Yeah.
He did scenes he shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah.
That scene when he was kicking that meat owner on the curb. I'm sorry, it was the typical old man kicks. He's like holding his fists up as he's just
Yeah.
kicking a guy. I'm like, oh my god,
Well,
God,
and
Robert, please stop.
Martin didn't really direct that scene well because you can clearly see him like pull back a little bit.
Oh, he's pulling the shots hard.
But let me tell you, Al
Absolutely.
Pacino, that dude can still fucking act his ass off.
His ass off.
Yeah, like he
No,
killed it.
Pacino was not a weak point. It was,
Oh yeah,
unfortunately, De Niro was the weak point of that
yeah.
film.
They're
God,
also old now. It's so unfortunate.
yeah, and this could be another 20-minute conversation, so I'm going to
Yeah,
continue
you're
on.
good.
So I like doing this with you, Damien. Okay, let's just pick one off. I'm gonna pick one that you. I'm gonna get through the ones you've already picked, which is one more. The Thing. Again, John Carpenter, some of his best special effects had never been done before this time. And it when you watch it today on 4K, when you got a great transfer that is going to show details that has never been shown before, and it can show off mistakes. It can show off. It make the film look worse because it doesn't have that standard definition that you could hide it with CRT and totally analog video. It looks great. It holds
Yeah,
up. I mean, it holds way up. And I've had I got a couple of buddies at work that are big fans of this movie, big fans of film, and they're like, that shouldn't look as good as it does,
yeah.
and it does.
You know what's crazy? Like the
So
practical effects still are some of the best like horror movie effects I've ever seen, and they hold up
yep,
better than a lot of movies VFX today. Like it's insane how well they
yes,
did on that film.
agreed. And the thing is, like, let's talk about real quick. We're gonna veer off again. Let's talk about special effects holding up long term. Some of these newer movies, or let's say not newer movies. Let's talk about a movie that's had some CGI effects from 10 to 15 years ago. 5 years
Um,
later, it looks garbage. Give me an
unfortunate.
example. Give me an example of some CGI effects, Damien, that look horrible today.
Early MCU movies for sure.
Okay. Okay.
Um, those are pretty rough. Honestly, like a lot of like movies from like it's kind of hard with from like 2000 like 2010, well 2008 I'll say. They had a really hard time
Agreed.
figuring out how to uh use CGI and how to hide certain things. I think of Spider-Man 3 where a lot of those web swinging scenes like don't really hold up as good as Spider-Man
Okay.
2 which came out in 2004 because they just knew how to hid it's weird. That one's like a backwards thing. Spider-Man 2 has better web swinging and looks better than Spider-Man 3. But my point with Spider-Man 3 is like that was still at a time when they didn't master the craft. You know what movie does hold up? Transformers. That first Transformers holds up
Oh yeah.
really
No, for
well.
sure. I just watched it today,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah.
And that's like I feel like that's one of the first big movies where it's like, okay, this film can now hold up for 20, 30 years. And even the second one, well, all of them, to be honest with you. And people will go, okay, like this is like the height of the craft of CGI and what people could do at that time. Um,
Yeah.
and then I mean, I haven't seen Avatar in so long, but
That's gonna be an interesting 4K release when it finally happens. So we're gonna see how good that holds
yeah.
up.
So Avatar at the time was really revolutionary because the water effects in that have never been done before at the time. And it
Yeah.
actually revolutionized how people did water effects and all the water effects you see now in movies are from Avatar, like the same
It's
program
based off that.
basically. Um,
Oh, wow.
so yeah, it holds up that well. And at the time, Avatar looked amazing. Like you said, the 4K of it, hopefully when it comes out eventually, it's going to be interesting because that was probably the best CGI thing ever at the time.
By a
Um,
large scale.
yeah, but
Yes.
the difference is it gonna be just as, like, is it the best at that time, only at that time, or will it actually be able to hold up till this time? We'll see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed. All right. So I got three more.
Yeah.
All right. I'll pull this one out.
Okay.
Damien doesn't like this movie. I like this
Ooh,
movie.
this will be interesting.
Holds a special place in my heart with me and a lot of other dudes my age. Tremors.
Yeah.
Arrow production. Movie that was filmed, um, again, early 80s. Was done beautifully
Oh, yes,
by Arrow Productions.
it was.
Beautifully. And this is one of the movies that got me into being a gun guy. Let's talk about rest in peace, Burt Gummer.
Yep.
Right? Burt
Yep.
Gummer.
Hmm.
This movie is perfect. Shit tons of subterranean monsters. It's in Nevada or Arizona where it's filmed or
I think
where
it's
it's taking
Nevada.
place. Yeah, Nevada. And it's got a crazy gun nut guy slash prepper that looks like the least crazy guy in the end.
Yeah.
It's perfect. I'm hoping for number two. Arrow. Love it. This was the first like expensive ish 4K movies I've bought by Arrow.
Yeah, it was
I
like
think at the
what,
time it
40
was like
bucks?
50. It was
40,
like
50
40,
bucks?
50. I think it's
Okay, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And I had to have it. I had to have it. And I'm really happy I do. And it holds up. Again, looks like it was filmed 3 to 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Perfect amount of film grain, not artificially done, not smoothed over like T2.
Yeah.
Arrow knows how to do a film.
Hmm?
It's a name I trust. Now, and again, we're going to veer off one more time. Criterion used to be a name of value if
Yeah.
you were to do a movie. And I think 3 out of 4 of their recent 4Ks have disc recalls on discs having issues. Donnie Darko was one of them, and one of the ones they did recently, I can't remember off the top of
I
my head.
I still need to get that Donnie Darko 4K because I know they fixed a lot of the issues and now it's like a
Yeah,
pretty
no,
good
no, they offered
release.
replacement discs
Yeah.
weeks within. No,
Yeah.
they made good on that.
I
Absolutely,
That's one of those underrated movies that I need to still get. Like I want that badly.
agreed, agreed,
Um, Sorry, go
agreed.
ahead.
No, you're good. Um, my wife is, I think, was the one I actually thought I should get this. I got Jaws on 4K,
Yep.
beautifully done. Way better. This was like a surprise thing, and I'm not like a big fan of this movie, but I've become a big fan of this movie.
Yeah, it's a great
Um,
4K.
I mean, yeah. Again,
Yeah.
prime example of you taking this 35 millimeter. How good 35 millimeter transfer over to 4K. This is what another big reason why we're into what we do. It doesn't take that much work. It takes a lot of work, but it doesn't take them that much work to do a film to 4K transfer because it transfers pretty damn natively over to this. It's great. It's Jaws.
Yeah,
Last one.
not a huge fan of Jaws like Chad. I've seen that
Yeah.
4K. I can't believe how good it looks. Um, it looks so good that it's like, okay, I just kind of want to have it just because an older movie on 4K, like it just looks amazing.
Yeah.
To go back to the Arrow thing real quick, Chad let me borrow that Tremors, and when I was not falling asleep watching the movie, I was really surprised how good it looked because it did look like it was filmed uh 5 years ago, and they Arrow. The one thing I love about them, because I feel like a lot of companies don't get this right, film grain on older movies is such a huge thing, and like Arrow always nails it with how much film grain they put on their movie.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is, like when we talk about film grain, if somebody's not familiar, 35 millimeter naturally ages and have grain, has grain. Any film has grain, but you'll see these 4K transfers, and they think they're doing us a favor by cleaning up all the grain, and it can hurt the film horribly.
Yep.
And you got to learn how to walk that fine line between a film with grain and something so cold, antiseptic, anesthetic, antiseptic clean. Screwing up my terminology there. and Arrow knows how to walk that fine line, and they do
Yeah.
it every time.
Yeah, I feel like it ruins the tone for a lot of movies. Like, there's certain movies where, like, okay, I understand there's no grain. Like, Heat is one of those movies where I could see why they would do no grain in it because it's a cold movie. It's very
Okay.
cold. It has a sterile, like, theme to it. Very sterile shots, right? Kind of one color a lot of the times. It's at night a lot.
Yes. Oh,
So,
grayish.
yeah.
Yes.
So if they did no grain or very little grain, that makes sense to me. But when they do, like, let's say they did Jaws without grain, it ruins the feel of it. It ruins that old timey feel that a lot of those movies have and that old style
Agreed.
directing. Like T2, they took out a lot of the grain. They took out almost
They
all
took
of it.
90%. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fucking. It's a prime example of
Yeah.
too much.
And it's too clean, too crispy. So
Yeah,
yeah.
it's waxy.
That's true. Did you have
It's
one more?
waxy.
Was that all yours?
Last one, and I got this one recently, and the movie itself is not good. Like the storyline, it's okay. It's okay,
Okay.
but it's a film that's never been done like this film. I like to see filmmakers do more of this, and it's Gemini Man. Again, it's if I'm going to show off my system um, of what 4K can do, I might turn this one on. It's filmed in 60 FPS, 60 frames per second, and it's gorgeous. The gorgeous opening train scenes are breathtaking. I have again. I'm gonna veer off one last time. My brother, I just hooked him up with. He told me to build him a home theater system, TV, home theater speaker package. Hooked him up with an LG OLED A1 72-inch or 77-inch, and one of the movies I turned on from first to show off his new system when he got back into town was Gemini Man, and he's like, first thing he told me, and from like a really not like he's a movie guy, but not like a movie freak like us. He's like, why aren't film or why aren't more films filmed in 60 frames per second? And I'm like, that's a great question. I think more films could benefit from this,
Yeah.
and it's great. I enjoy it. I enjoyed this way for $11. I enjoyed this way more than I thought.
I should have that one tomorrow, I think.
Great. You're
I
gonna enjoy it.
funny story about that. So Chad sent me a clip. I knew Gemini Man was in 60 frames, and I think I saw clips of it before. I didn't really pay attention to it, but Chad sent me a clip recently of it. And he's like, "Hey, look at how good this looks." And first time watching that, it looks so real, it throws me off. The 60 frames make it look so smooth.
Yes.
It throws me off. So what I did was I threw it in a watch together and had Jared watch it. Someone who's not really into films, someone who doesn't really pay attention to like technology into films, and he's like, "This is disgusting. Like this looks like I'm there." Like he's like, "I can't believe this is a thing," and he had a really hard time adjusting to it. But you get used to it. So what I started doing was I was like, "All right, let me just type in on YouTube films in 60 FPS," and what I have come to the conclusion is in action movies, in action scenes, it should be 60 FPS base. When it's people talking, like one-on-one over the shoulder scenes,
30.
it should be
40.
24 frames. I think 60 frames looks weird when people are talking, but like action shooting, it looks phenomenal. And one of the ones
Yes.
that they had was they had a bunch of the Amazing Spider-Man scenes in 4K 60 FPS, and it looked phenomenal. Like the swinging scenes, oh my god, it looked amazing. So yeah, and I also brought Cody into that, and he got to see 60 FPS. So I agree, a lot of films should use 60 frames per second to its advantage. Obviously, they have to learn how to transition between them well, but there's a lot of movies I think could benefit, like because you get a sense of speed, and the camera feels weightier.
Urgency.
Yeah, the camera, like when I was watching the clips of Gemini Man, like those sharp turns that they were doing with the camera, like you could like feel it. Normal 24 frames, sometimes the camera just feels stiff and it just feels fluid. Those, like if you're filming an action scene, you want weight to it. 60 frames is like that key for it.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that whole movie. I'm not telling my mom about the 60 frames. I'm gonna watch it with her. And I just want to see if she says anything or what she's going to say watching it.
Or throws up from motion sickness.
Yeah, that is a problem with it. Yes.
Like for the first like 10 minutes, but then you get over it really quick.
Oh, yeah, you get used to it really quick.
Real quick. But
That was one of the things because, like, when I was watching all these clips, I'm like, wow, this just kind of looks normal now. And it's like, oh, I'm just getting used to 60 frames. There's people, and Chad, I was telling you, there's websites where people just convert movies over to 60 frames.
How are they converted? That's
It's a whole
is it a
post-processing thing. It's
is it
like,
a natural conversion? Like I got questions about
I
that
mean, I could
process.
convert movies into 60 frames. Like,
Okay.
probably it's just through an editing software.
Okay.
The one thing you do notice is like what you talked about earlier. You can see, like, especially in CGI, where like when people make movies in 24 frames, they know how to hide things in certain frames. In 60
Yep.
frames, you see all the hidden
Every
techniques, all of
it's
it.
yeah, it's made very clear.
Yep. Alrighty, so let's see what we have left.
Yeah.
We have two things left. We have 4Ks we believe are reference quality. So my list, which we talked about, so I think Blade Runner for sure, reference quality disc, audio wise, and then visually, like I think this is probably the one I'd throw on to show people.
I agree.
And then I have No Time to Die, which is probably the newest one. Uh, this movie looks phenomenal on 4K. I also really like this movie, but it's so clean and such a crisp image. This one is really good. We talked about the Revenant also being really good. I think this has
Yep.
like, I mean, some of the scenes where the director's just filming like the wilderness, like nothing's going on. It's just the
The
wilderness.
water. It's
Yeah,
just the water.
phenomenal. And then I have another recent one, Tenet. I love this 4K. It
Yep.
also looks amazing. The audio is also really cool. And the movie's just good in general. And then two of them. So I've seen both these movies on 4K. I don't own them, but I will. So Passengers on 4K is also one of the best 4Ks I've seen. Not that great of a movie. It's the one with Chris Pratt and Jennifer Lawrence where they're on like a spaceship. But 4K is amazing. I'm not joking. It's better than like The Thing and Interstellar on 4K. Not joking at
Oh,
all.
wow.
And
I'd
the
love to see that.
4K release is really cool because not only do you get the 4K and the Blu-ray, you also get the 4K 3D movie as well. If you wanted to look into 3D movies, you get that disc included, and the disc is like $10-15.
Is that still like a thing,
3D?
or is it falling fast?
I mean,
You notice?
I think it's falling. I don't even know the last movie to do 3D. Not a major release. I don't think a major
Yeah.
release is done in a while. I know there's people that collect it, which I mean, hey,
Yes.
that's one of the best ones to get. And then another one that I saw, which I was also surprised about, Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh,
Was
that scored super high on a lot of
oh yeah,
websites. Yeah.
it is like the scenes at night with Godzilla, like where he's shooting like his fucking flames into the sky and shit. Amazing, top tier. I thought the movie was actually pretty good too. Like for what it was, I thought it was really good. So that's also one I will be picking up. So those are for me. Those are my reference quality discs. Did you have any more you wanted to add to that list?
I'll make it really quick. I think you nailed it. Oh, again, Blade Runner's number one.
Yeah,
Of reference quality for everything you stated. The Revenant, number two, and I guess the third would be Gemini Man. Again, just
yeah,
showing
that's
something
also
off, something that it's like nobody's ever seen. And the thing is, okay, the reason why I like showing this off, you go to Best Buy, you go to Fry's Electronics, rest in peace, Fry's Electronics.
no one knows what that
Um,
is anymore.
I know. Their TVs, every bullshit True Motion artificial smoothing program is turned on, and the settings are jacked up to vivid mode. It means
Yeah,
your reds, your greens are blown out, and they try to like simulate like what this looks like. So I can literally put this on my TV that I have it somewhat calibrated, all those bullshit settings turned off, and this will still blow your mind because this is natively done in 60 frames per second, and it's perfect.
yep.
As in a show off disc, show off your
Oh yeah,
stuff disc, and that's mine. Yeah,
yeah. That'll probably
yeah.
climb up like as soon as I put it in my DVD player and I see like the first few scenes. I'll probably be top 5 easily.
And once you get, I think this is, I don't know if this is Vision. I think it's just HDR. Let me
Probably just
just hold on.
HDR.
It's just HDR. Um, yeah, you'll love it. You'll love it even more than
Yes.
that clip on YouTube that I sent you.
Yeah. I also watched the
So
one like the whole bike scene chase. That was
yeah,
also really cool.
oh, it's very good.
Yes. So the last thing we have to kind of end it off is our wish list for 4K. So
Hmm.
movies we want to come to 4K. I have 9 movies, so I'll go through mine real
Okay.
quick. Uh, we talked about it, the first Avatar movie. I don't care for that movie. I just want to see how good it's going to look because if they do it right and the CGI holds up, that could possibly be the best 4K to ever come out easily.
It could be the number one reference disc, like we were
Yes.
talking about.
Oh yeah, for sure. So that's like that's my number 9. It's low, but that one could be like everyone's favorite disc. Edge of Tomorrow, that Tom Cruise movie with Emily Blunt, that's apparently coming this year.
Hmm.
That's the one where he whenever he dies, he restarts. It's like Groundhog Day, but like in that
Yeah,
cool mech world that he's in.
yeah.
I really like that movie a lot.
Slept on, another slept on movie, I
Yeah,
think.
really slept on. And that 4K, because that movie looks great already. That 4K is gonna be really good. Like if it's done right, really good.
It's
I
probably digitally shot, and then it'll have a
yes,
good transfer.
yep.
Yeah.
I think Warner Brothers owns that. It's either
Okay.
Warner Brothers or Paramount. So at least a good studio that will that usually does good 4K releases.
Okay, that's my next question. They're known for doing 4K,
Yeah.
good 4K transfers. Good,
Um,
good.
I think like one of the big ones, Nightmare on Elm Street on 4K, like the whole collection.
Weren't they working on getting legalities figured out for that, and then they did get it figured out? Or am I thinking of something different? I'm thinking of Jason. Sorry, I'm thinking of
Yeah,
Jason series.
so Nightmare on Elm Street's owned by uh, uh it's the fucking thing that owns everything now. You know,
Scream Factory.
no, it's you know when you watch a movie and you see like that square and that like movie reel that goes over and it's like a logo for a company. I forget their fucking name.
Yeah, yeah, I know the logo. It's just
Uh
yeah.
so they own I think a lot of the Nightmare on Elm Streets and then I think there's a few other companies that own some other ones. So that's the whole issue. It's another legality thing. Um so with Nightmare on Elm Street, I don't think it will ever come to 4K. I mean, they might get the first one, the first 3 maybe. Um, but a whole collection is probably kind of hard to do. Um,
Okay,
so Warner Brothers actually owns the full franchise now. Never mind.
so then it's very possible what you're telling me then.
So Wes Craven's estate owns it, but they could publish it through Warner Brothers again.
Okay,
So that's cool.
it seems like that would be a high-dollar one that would raise exponentially in value if a set was released.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those things where New Line Cinema is the company I was thinking of.
That's right.
They own Freddy versus Jason, which is what I was thinking about. And they also own I think a lot of or used to own a lot of the Friday the 13th movies. So those are ones Nightmare on Elm Street's like we could potentially get, and I think for horror that's probably one everyone wants. 'Cause I've always preferred those over Friday the 13th easily. I'll take a Friday the 13th collection, but
Yeah,
I want Nightmare on Elm Street before that. I also want them to finish fucking Halloween. Like, give me all the rest of the Halloweens on 4K.
yeah, H2O and stuff like that. And
H2O is my favorite Halloween movie. So,
yeah, I love H2O.
so good.
H2O.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about Heat, obviously Heat. Another movie I love, which I think would be a really good one, is Prisoners, which is a movie with Jake Gyllenhaal and Hugh Jackman, where Hugh Jackman's daughter gets stolen. Directed by Denis Villeneuve as well. The movie's phenomenal. If you haven't seen it, watch it. One of my like guilty pleasure movies. I think it would be a good 4K. I don't know how the CGI will hold up though. Is Ghost Ship? Do you remember that movie?
Yeah, that movie's is a hidden gem when it came out.
Yeah,
Nobody expected to be as good as it is.
yeah.
Yes.
That movie is so fun to watch, and it is so good. So yeah, Ghost Ship. I want Scream 2 through 3. We just got the first one. We're getting the newest one, which the newest one's really good if you haven't seen it. I want the remaining 2. I'm a Jake Gyllenhaal slut, so give me Nocturnal Animals, which came out in 2013 with him and Amy Adams. It's directed by Tom Ford, who's a designer. It's a really good movie, though. Really cool story. I think that's on Netflix. So if you haven't seen that one, watch that one.
Okay.
And then my last one, which is a top 5 movie of all time for me, is Nightcrawler with Jake
Ooh,
Gyllenhaal.
yeah.
Um, this
Love
movie,
that movie.
it's predominantly shot at night, and even on Blu-ray, like a lot of the scenes are breathtaking. So I think on 4K it would look even better. Yeah, Nightcrawler for me is number one. What about you,
Okay.
Chad?
All right. Since I don't got my list in front of me, number one, yeah, absolutely. Heat. We've been teased if it's so long. Needs to happen. It's one of the best action slash heist films ever released. You know, you talk about a heist film, you think Heat. GTA 5. A lot of stuff based off of Heat. Um, yeah, absolutely. Number two, again, Cameron's James Cameron teasing us. Avatar. Hopefully it holds up. With all the CGI and today's standards, I want it. I'll get it regardless. Looking very forward to it. Um, some I just thought about at the top of my head. I'd love to see it again. Follow ups, if number one release is good, is RoboCop 2 and 3 from Arrow.
Yep.
I just want it filled up. I just want it done. The collection complete, and maybe some older Steven Seagal films. And when I say like Steven Seagal, like, give me a Heart to Kill. Give me not Hard to Kill. Yeah, Hard to Kill. I mean, there's like three. Um, back when he was in actually decent shape. Other than that, yeah, he
Before
can
the
eat shit.
wheelchair.
He's with the what? Yeah, yeah. He's in the wheelchair. No, he's in the bed pulling himself through the
Yeah.
elevator because his muscles are atrophied, and somehow he fixes himself in 3 action sequences, and he's back up doing a keto bullshit.
Yeah.
Again, that's some of the charm of these bullshit movies that I love,
Yeah.
and he lost that charm very quick. Um,
Ah,
like some horrible movies I would love, like Chuck Norris. Give me hold on, what's that one Chuck Norris film where he's in the outback of like Nevada or Arizona? Give me Lone Wolf McQuade. Give me Lone Wolf McQuade.
God, I haven't seen that movie in so long.
Love Lone Wolf McQuade. He's in a Ram Charger going through Mexico, like getting revenge on his partner that got killed. Yeah, give me some Lone Wolf McQuade. Um, Stuff like that. Give me 80s action films restored,
Yep.
and I'd be a happy dude. T2 redone the right way. Give me that. Give me what my childhood
I have
has been yearning after for a very long time. Um, yeah, and that's all I can really think of off the top of my head.
I have one
With what
more.
I want.
I don't think it's
Throw it down.
it has been no, it hasn't been done in 4K. I would have bought it already. Raging Bull, black and white film. Robert De
Oh
Niro.
yeah, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Uh, one of the greatest boxing movies of all time. Like it's like that and Rocky for me, like for sure.
How about the
Um,
Rocky series too? Sorry, I didn't mean to take
I
it on
mean,
there.
yeah, give us that too.
Yeah,
Uh, all we're getting is Creed, which Creed isn't bad. Don't get me wrong, but it's not Rocky.
I got it at Goodwill for $2, by the way, 4K.
The first one's really good. First one's really good.
Yeah,
Uh, but yeah, Raging Bull, black and white film, black and white, like Chad talked about earlier,
pretty
translates.
hard, almost
Yeah,
hard to watch,
it
but
is.
beautiful. Yes.
It is hard to watch. And black and white transfers so well. I mean, we just saw it with the Universal 4K monster set that just came out, which I've heard nothing but amazing things about. Like it has the original, I think, Dracula in it, and the Invisible Man. It's a 4-film set. I've heard amazing things about that. The Mummy, the original one from like 1940s.
Mm,
So that I want the original Creature from the Black Lagoon. I've always loved that movie from like
yes.
1946 or something like that.
How about the original Blob? That'd be cool.
That would be cool. That would be cool.
I like the '80s one. Do you see the '80s, the recreation of
I
it too?
have,
It's
yeah.
all purple and swallowing people up and shit.
Yep.
I'll be risque. I'll say Schindler's List. Give me Schindler's List redone because
It's on
that's a
4K.
classical. Is it on
It
4K?
is on 4K.
Is it good?
I believe so.
Easy. That's an easy purchase
That's
for me.
Liam Neeson's best film by far as well.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't think of Liam Neeson as like a great actor, but that film, like that film's hard to watch. A lot of
Because he method acted his ass off.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah.
Hey, another Holocaust movie, The Boy in Striped Pajamas. Love to
Oh
see
my
that in
God,
4K.
yes.
Love to see that in 4K. I love that movie in general.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Let's put some. Yeah.
real quick story about that movie. So we saw that in like 7th grade during like when we learned
Yes.
about the Holocaust, right? And
Yes.
so, dude, there was this kid. His name was Blake, and he looked just like Shmuel, who was a Jewish boy. And this kid
Yeah.
for
Sorry, my phone's going off.
oh, you're good. This kid for 2 whole years just got called Shmuel every time someone saw him. It was a huge, like,
Shut your
yeah,
face.
huge school joke. You could probably ask Jared about it, and he'd know about it. But yeah, everyone would call him Shmuel, and it was so funny because he looked like him. He had the same hair and everything.
We had a guy in high school we named Morpheus because he dressed like Morpheus, and I used to chase
Oh
him down the
God.
hallway, asking him for the blue pill. But I made my peace with him. I apologized. I'm not gonna say his name, but dude, you know who I'm talking about. I give you a hard time. You're a good dude. But
You gotta be
yes,
careful. He might have pulled out an AK-47 there at some point, across the line a little bit.
a- absolutely.
Yeah,
That's all I'll
that
say is absolutely.
that's funny.
But yeah, yep.
Not like funny, like, you know what I mean. It's just we
I'm
do
I'm
dumb
picking
shit
up
as
what you're
kids.
putting down.
We do
Oh,
dumb shit as
absolutely,
kids. Yeah.
absolutely.
That's right. But I mean, give us a lot of older horror movies. I want it. This is weird to say. I want more garbage 2000 movies in 4K because
Eight-legged freaks.
yes, love that movie. Even though I'm terrified of spiders, I can watch that
Yeah.
movie.
Give me
13 Ghosts.
arachnophobia. Sorry, we went to 80s. I saying
I can't
arachnophobia.
watch Arachnophobia.
Oh, I
That
love
movie
it. I
fucks
can't.
me
I hate
out.
spiders too, but I love it.
Yeah.
Right.
13 Ghosts. Give me 13 Ghosts on 4K.
Oh, Tony Shalhoub did such a great job on that.
He did, yes. Um, Give me the original 2 Scooby Doo movies. The live action. Just give me them.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they've given a lot of 4K movies, or have made a lot of 4K movies over the past 8 years, and we have mostly all the ones we need. We're just missing a few good ones like Heat and Nightcrawler for me. And I know the same
Yep.
thing for Chad. So
Yep.
that is it. That's it for the
Oh,
podcast.
yeah, that's all I got.
I think we've covered everything. So maybe we'll do more here in like maybe we'll do another one in like 6 months, and we'll kind of do like an updated collection. Maybe just kind of
Yep.
go over the whole collection. Yeah, thank you guys for watching. I think next month we'll do a guns podcast one. So Chad will be on that one. Because Jared's got a lot of new guns. I have the same, but it's whatever. I'll show them off.
I got a couple.
Yeah.
Well, first time on, so you've never seen what I got.
Yes.
So
Chad has some
I
really
won't show
cool
them off
guns.
all at once.
Yes.
I hate guns. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Ugh,
I lost all mine in a
gross.
boating accident if the government's
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah.
Uh,
Damn boats.
Damn boat, man. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. We will see you next week. Appreciate it.